The following is a presentation of the Eagles Sports Network.
Hello and welcome into Week 5 of the Mike Clowney Show as Carson-Newman celebrates a 34-21 win on the road at Setzler Field over the Newberry Wolves. I'm the voice of the Eagles, Adam Cavalier, alongside Carson-Newman head football coach Mike Clowney. Mike, what a Saturday night for Carson-Newman. Hadn't won at Newberry since 2010. Hadn't had a lead in the second half against the Wolves since 2010. Was competitive in the fourth quarter, and that felt like a revelation. But then put up 22 in the fourth quarter to seal the deal and rally for the 16th time when trailing in the fourth quarter since 2001. What did you see grit, guile, fortitude from your team to win at one of the toughest places to play in the South Atlantic Conference?
You know, I think the thing that we talked about a lot was patience, which we've had to endure a great deal of, and faith. You know, we talked about believing, and you know, that's I think the thing that you saw over guys. And I thought, you know, Coach McKeithen, he talked to the offense all week. You know, let's go win this football game in the fourth quarter, and then just all of a sudden, like it's the fourth quarter, and it's right there with an opportunity to grab it, and then watch our kids go make the plays that need to be made to do it was fun.
The thing that still sticks out to me, at least after a sleep, the energy level, both from the fans in the stands across the way and from the sideline. Just how meaningful was that to pushing your team to a win?
Yeah, that was exciting, because we've talked about the team spirit and we talked about enthusiasm. And then, like, when we talk about the faith and believing, is, you know, believing in something that you haven't seen happen yet. And then the thing I think our guys, like we talked about this after the game, but, you know, our guys kind of started Tuesday, you know, competing against each other and being energetic and realizing that this game can be a lot of fun, you know, when you put it all together and you do it wholeheartedly. And it was cool seeing our guys get into the game, which resulted in our fans getting into the game. A lot of times, like, it's crazy how we can kind of sometimes both wait on each other. You know, the fans wait on the players to do something, and then the players are waiting on the fans to do something to energize them. And the key is, it doesn't matter whatever your position is in the game. You know, you just have to get started doing what you can do. And then it was infectious. It made that game a lot of fun. There's a lot of energy, like at the end of the game, with our kids and parents and the people that came over there. You know, I know our guys were super excited about, you know, them being there and supporting them in that fashion. You know, it was just a lot of fun.
You said something within that answer that sparks an interest to me. Throughout the week, you and I talking off air, I naturally am the punk that brings up, hey, you haven't won here since 2010. Hey, you haven't scored a touchdown against this team since Ken Sparks was the head coach. And each time I'd bring that up, you'd say, yeah, I still haven't, I'm not telling the kids that, or I'm not communicating that. Was that, what went into that decision to not use that as a motivator? And was it, hey, the energy's here, I'm not going to provide a downer?
I think we had so many other things to think about and worry about. I just didn't want to give them something else to stress over. You know, the thing that we need to do is continue to work to get better as a football team. You know, and just even like my thought process when you tell me, it's like, man, I didn't realize that. And then I'm like, is that good information, bad information? You know, and so you have to process it. So it's just like, you know, we didn't want to give them something else to process outside of the fact of, you know, when we called this, do this.
Always find it interesting what is and isn't used as a motivator, and clearly it worked.
You know, I think if you're going into that game and, like, we're both undefeated and, like, you want a little extra gas to throw on the fire, I think it's great. But I think when you're in the position that we're in and trying to continue to find your footing, you know, I think we have to continue to focus on where we are and what we're doing.
Where Carson-Newman is, a win, 34-21 over the Newberry Wolves. We break down the first half when we get back. after these messages on the Mike Clowney Show.
Sure, we've been around a while, 171 years to be exact. We know the power of a liberal arts-based Christian education and the tremendous potential of what can be found on this campus, within this community. We are adventurers, dreamers, believers, passionate and compassionate, curious and clever, driven by a common purpose towards a common goal.
I found my passion.
I found purpose.
We are Carson-Newman.
What will you find?
All right, back on the Mike Clowney Show as Carson-Newman triumphs over the Newberry Wolves on the road for the first time since 2010. 34-21, Mike Clowney, a first half where your team fell behind. Newberry forces a 3-and-out on the first possession, goes down, drives the length of the field, and punches in a touchdown, but your team responded fairly quickly. Yet another long pass play, kind of like LR. It was Julius Cobbs against the Bears. It was Cade Meeks against the Wolves. What did you see from your team to get punched early, but then fire back?
You know, that kind of stays consistent on the believing part of it. You know, we started out with a good little bit of emotion, and we missed some assignments and didn't handle a couple calls well. And so I think our kids kind of knew that. You know, some of the mistakes we made that were kind of on us, and if we could get settled down and get into a flow, then we could continue to give ourselves a chance, you know, like they had short field, you know, from the punt return again. But then offensively, you know, that's where we talked about in that game, you know, trying to find a way to take a shot early, and, you know, we were able to kind of get that off of play action. And I think it was Cade scored that one, right? Yeah. Cade did a great job of working to stack his guy, get back on top, and was able to catch the football for a touchdown.
Big day for Cade Meeks and Jalen Myers in general. They're again, it's weird talking about the passing game historically for Carson-Newman football, because for most schools, 15 of 20 through the air really doesn't register as something. But here, there have been just 3 15 completion games in the last decade. Felt like Jalen really stepped into a groove offensively, especially with Cade Meeks with the bookend touchdowns.
I thought, you know, up front we did a good job of buying him a little bit of time to throw. He did a good job of moving around in the pocket, and Cade's continued to work to get better. You know, he just competes. You know, you talk about going out there and competing. You know, he does a lot of the little things right to get himself in position to make plays, and Jalen was able to find them.
Rushing yardage, as is typical when facing Newberry, was at a premium. Struggled to move the ball on the ground early, and yet, as you kind of alluded to, the play action was still there. Was that by design? Hey, we're going to use this as a impetus to open up the play action pass?
Well, it's like one of those things. I mean, you still have to be able to run the football to win a football game, and like we just knew that we had to be persistent on it. Like, you know, they've done a good job of stopping people, but they have given up a couple plays, and so we knew it was something that we need to be persistent on, and then still continue to be able to try to take advantage of that part of it in the passing game. Like in that area, we still got to do a better job of moving people up front to where we can run the ball a little bit more consistently.
Carson-Newman gets the job done over the Newberry Wolves. Eagles were down at the halftime break, though, 14-6, and here are those first half highlights.
Turning handoff to Murray to the right side. Murray outraces Brown, gets to the edge, and gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Wolves at their own 42. Myers out of the gun. Play fake to Nelson. Straight drop. Myers going to air long for Cade Meeks. Meeks adjusts. Hauls it into the 25. His defender is down. And Meeks is in. Touchdown. Carson-Newman. Jalen Myers with an absolute seed to Cade Meeks. To the left. Phillips is under center for second and goal from the 5. Phillips will give on an in around to Banks. Banks will beat Ja'Cory Long to the right side and get into the end zone. Touchdown, Newberry. Left hash at the Eagle 44. Phillips from the pistol. Hands off Murray right side. Mekhi Brown latches onto him.
See if they have red velvet.
Yeah. Second and 14. Myers will throw a screen, complete to Tyler Curtis. Curtis has blockers. Runs into one of his blockers and gets free. Curtis has first down yardage across the 35 and 40. With Key Williams punched left of the line. It's a reverse to the left side for Desisher. Desisher is gobbled up by Kendall Williams. Eagles got to watch. Colbay's hold is down. The kick tipped. It's blocked. Mekhi Brown celebrating like he got a piece of it. And the Eagles thwart the Wolves. Minute 52 left in the second quarter. Still an 8-point game.
All right, those are the first half highlights from Carson-Newman's 34-21 win over the Newberry Wolves. Again, Mike Clowney down at the halftime break. What was your message in the halftime locker room to the team?
Well, since we talked about giving ourselves a chance to win the football game in the fourth quarter, we made some mistakes, but we were still there, close in the football game. And, the thing was just to continue to come back out. Let's continue to improve on some of the mistakes we made. Let's keep it close unless we can stretch it our way in the fourth quarter. And, our guys were able to do that.
Defensively, the performance, again, for the final 45 minutes felt like it was off the charts, really settled in. Newberry, from the second quarter till about the midpoint of the third, didn't have a first down. And it wasn't until their scoring drive late in the fourth quarter that they strung together back-to-back first downs on any one possession. What changed defensively for your team from that first quarter to the final 3 quarters of the game?
It was funny because, when we talk about getting midway to the third quarter, I can't remember which one of the kids was. He walked up to me and was like, I don't even feel tired. And I was like, exactly, because that's why you train the way that you train, to be able to go play and win these games in this situation right now. And you could just see, I think that, our guys, from an energy standpoint, and I think energy on the sideline creates a little bit more of that energy on the field. So I thought a lot of that carried over. So you feel good, you got people there supporting you, and you kind of continue to work to raise your level.
Defensively, and this I think has been the trend this season, so many guys are contributing defensively. It's not like you've got a Mike Clowney going out and making 23 tackles in a game. It's all right, here's 5 guys, they all have 7 stops. But on this game, it was Mekhi Brown. We've got to confirm a couple things. He's credited with 2 field goal blocks. He's got a pick 6. He's got a tackle for loss. He's got 5 stops. Hadn't started this season until last week. What's he done to kind of put himself toward the front of the fray?
Mekhi, he's here in red shirt last year, and had an opportunity to start last week, and he played out of his mind last week. I just remember bringing him over to the sideline, just watching him and just in the game, it's just like, man, he is all over the place. Made some mistakes, yes, but the effort was there. Mm-hmm. The mistakes he made wide open. He made some mistakes in this game, but the effort's there. And if you continue to do that, eventually you're going to find yourself in the right place, in the right position to be able to make plays for us. And that's what he was able to do yesterday.
I say confirm. We're pretty sure he blocked the first field goal, but we haven't had a chance to fully review the film yet to determine if the second field goal block, Newberry credited to Mekhi, but it was very much scrum type field goal block, and I think it got tipped.
And those were 2 really big plays in that football game, because they driven down on one of them, and then one I think we gave them a short field. And they and to be able to get those stops in those situations, because we had gotten a PAT block, and so just that momentum to be able to not have scores there, and then we were able to find the end zone.
Unbelievable complimentary football. That feels a little weird to say. Definitely some frustrating moments on special teams. You bring up the PAT block. Pat Fongsat got turned loose for more than 100 yards of punt return yardage. And had Newberry with some short fields. And yet, special teams was also a star, because you blocked 2 field goals. Major Williams returns his second career punt return for a touchdown. How do you balance the good with the bad for that unit?
Well, you have to accentuate the good, but you got to get better at the bad. Unfortunately, that's happened to us 2 weeks in a row on the field goals, and so we've got some work to do there. We've got to stop penetration, and we've got to make sure that we do a better job of getting the ball in the air, which we thought we'd gotten fixed this week at practice, but obviously we got some more work to do. The big thing there, we put it through the first time if we don't get ourselves in a penalty situation. Yep. So, all of those little things that when you have opportunities, you have to make sure that you handle them the right way.
Let's talk about the good, though.
And then the punt return. I mean, Major, he had one before there that I thought he had a chance on. I mean, he did a great job of getting the football, taking and getting it going north-south. And it was funny, like on the one that he returned, you could just see the determination there that he wasn't going to be denied. So we got a couple guys downfield to pick up blocks late. He did a good job of getting the ball north and south. And then they've got a couple of guys with potential to make tackles there, and he makes the guy miss and is able to escape back outside and get into the end zone. Just a real gutsy run after we just scored a touchdown to put us up another score. Man, just a great play by him.
Carson-Newman gets the job done over the Newberry Wolves, 34-21. We break down the second half when we get back after these messages on the Mike Clowney Show. All right, back in the Mike Clowney Show as Carson-Newman triumphs on the road over the Newberry Wolves, 34-21. I'm Adam Cavalier, the voice of the Eagles, alongside Carson-Newman head football coach Mike Clowney. Mike, a fourth quarter. I said we'd break down the second half. Really, what we need to break down is the fourth quarter. Before we get there, talked about Mekhi Brown earlier. You're down 8 at the halftime break. It was his pick 6 that kind of ignited the rally in the third. On a broken play, what did you see from your redshirt freshman linebacker there?
Just being in the right place at the right time. Their quarterback rolls, I think, to his right. He comes back. He's kind of in the end zone trying to avoid his safety and tries to throw the ball to get it out of there. And Mekhi, does a good job of stepping in front of it, catching the football, and finding the corner of the end zone.
All right, fourth quarter. Gutsy play calling. Down by 2. And had not run the football well at all. I think you had 30 yards rushing at that point. Less than a yard per carry. And what do? Go to the ground exclusively. A dose of Cam Ferguson. He rushes for 79 yards, 65 of it on one play, before Tyler Curtis punctuates the drive with a 1-yard touchdown run to put you in the lead. Why on earth go to the ground in such a crucial situation?
Because that's what we do. You still, we're going to ask our kids to play and play hard. The thing is, even though we're behind, we're not out of the game. So there's no reason to panic, so we just kind of stick with the game plan as we had it. And eventually, our kids made a play. Cam made a play on the long run to get us down to the 1. He's running. I'm just glad that he secured the football and was able to hold on to it, because the guy that tackled him, he did a great job of covering a lot of ground on that play. But Cam did a great job of on the run in general, and then make sure to take care of the football. So then we got the ball on the 1 with a chance to go ahead.
I'd probably make it sound a little more daft than it actually is, but there was still plenty of time in the fourth quarter when you were running it to take that lead. But what is daft, 3rd and 8 with about 1:21 left. I'm surprised you're able to be sitting right now. Go for the throat instead of running the ball, make Newberry take another timeout and punt. You hurl one up to Cade Meeks and he scores to put the game away. Break down the thought process, the mentality to dial that one up to deliver the death blow.
You'd already told me we hadn't won there since 2010. So, there's no reason to just, not take a shot at putting that game away. I just thought it was, at that point in time, I thought it was the right thing to do. If we don't get it, I'm probably having a different conversation. And the whole mentality of it was different. But, the thing is, the kids were in, they executed the play well. Kate did a good job of getting leverage. Jalen did a good job of putting the ball where it needed to be, to give us 2 scores and to kind of put that one out of reach at that point in time.
Carson-Newman prevails on the road at Newberry for the first time since 2010. The final score, 34-21, and here are those second half highlights.
He brings a man in motion. Phillips takes, turns, and hands off to Murray right side. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide for him. Jaheim Wilson and Champ Baker out of the gun. Takes the snap, play fake, back to pass, pressure, he's in the end zone. Throws right, it's picked off. Mekhi Brown at the 5. Mekhi Brown houses it. Touchdown, Carson-Newman. Adrian Mekhi Brown, pick 6. Newberry has gone to Jai Tolan at quarterback. Play fake, they'll run the option to the left side to Desishirt. Desishirt gives himself up and doesn't even want to take a lick from Christian Hicks or Mekhi Brown on third downs today. Phillips, play fake to Murray, steps up in the pocket, and Verdree has him, and Verdree, ball came out! Kendall Williams and Verdree hopped on top of it. Regardless, it's a sack. But do they say Phillips was down? They are. They do.
Takes the shotgun snap. Will give Curtis straight ahead. Curtis surging in. Touchdown, Carson-Newman. Tyler Curtis scored the go-ahead score last year against 7th-ranked Newberry in Berktar Stadium. He puts the Eagles on the front foot here at Setzler Field. Gibson Marsh to punt it away. Gets it off. Major Williams will leap to field it at his 35. Williams straight ahead. Has a lot of daylight. Across the 40. Across the 30. Across the 20. Williams with the punter to beat. He smokes him. Touchdown, Carson-Newman. Major Williams, 65 yards.
Tolan brings Williams in motion, fakes the snap to him. Tolan back to pass, pressured left, steps up. Tolan gonna run, finds a seam and scoots in. Touchdown, Newberry. Myers takes the shotgun snap, straight drop. Wolves rush 4. Myers wants the long ball to the right sideline. It's complete. Touchdown, Carson-Newman. Eagles go for the throat, and Myers delivers to Cade Meeks. 42 yards. Touchdown, Carson-Newman. Eagles up 32-21.
All right, those are the second half highlights as the Eagles prevail over the two-time SAC champion, or back-to-back defending SAC champion Newberry Wolves. When we get back on the Mike Clowney Show, it's time for our Talent Talk. That's after these messages.
Tri-Light is proud to support Carson-Newman Athletics. We salute the student athletes who are working hard to make great things happen on the field, in the classroom, and in the world. It takes vision, commitment, and teamwork, qualities we share at Tri-Light. Our mission is to provide life-changing opportunities by building a world-class fiber broadband network. If you'd like to learn more, please visit trilight.net or call us at 833-847-0824.
All right, back on the Mike Clowney Show as Carson-Newman celebrates a 34-21 win at Newberry. Now it's time for our Talent Talk. And this week, Andrew Rogers walks the field with Christian Hicks.
Hi again, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Talent Talk. Andrew Rogers here with linebacker Christian Hicks. Christian, let's start off here. You went to school at Mars Hill initially and then transferred to Carson-Newman. Why leave there to come to Mossy Creek?
It was just a better opportunity to play. Carson-Newman presented me with great opportunities and great resources. It was a great school. When I came and visited, it was a great school to just come be around.
On the playing field, what do you think separates you? What separates you from other linebackers or defensive players?
I'd say for me, I can make plays. People kind of say I have a knack for being around the ball, so I love that about myself. So, I mean, I'm highly motivated from my work with my mom and stuff like that. So she motivates me, and I just go out there and play for her every time.
In the year of transition, you sat out last year as a redshirt here. What did you learn in that transitional period, sitting out, and now really making an impact here in your first year with the Eagles?
I learned a lot. Alonzo Houston, I learned a lot from him last year, watching him play, being on the sidelines, really gave me a viewpoint of how I want to be as a linebacker, and it was just a great transition into me going into this spring and taking a leading role for the team and just being the person I am.
What qualities did you pick up from him? I mean, obviously, it seemed like every time the ball carrier came down, he was right there on the play. What did you pick up from him on the sidelines?
I picked up his hustle. He loves his hustle. Like, his speed is just all fast. So I was always encouraged by Jeff and Ryan in the weight room to pick my speed up and get faster and get stronger. So that right there encouraged me a lot.
3rd down and 11 to go. May out of the gun. Steps up in the pocket. He's hit. Christian Hicks has him in his grasp, and Hicks wrestles him to the turf. A sack for Carson-Newman defensively. Back to the 27-yard line. A loss of 4 on the play, and the Eagle defense stands tall with a 3-and-out.
Empty to the right. Ball equidistant between the hashes on 3rd and 2 for the Bears from the Carson-Newman 30. Ferguson in the pistol. Dillard behind him. Turns and hands off to Dillard. Stretch play left side. Christian Hicks runs him down in the alleyway and drags him to the turf. Back at the 32. A loss of 2. It's 4th and 4.
Let's change it up here. I'll ask you some fun questions. If you could spend one day with a celebrity, who is it? Male or female?
Male or female? I'm going to go female. I say
Taylor Swift's the popular answer right now.
Nah, I'm not going to say Taylor Swift, but I'll probably go with Zendaya right now. Okay. Zendaya.
Okay. Favorite NFL team or just any professional team growing up that you like to watch?
I'm a Steeler, ride or die.
All right, I like
Steeler,
that. Yeah,
ride or
go
die.
Pittsburgh. What about Pittsburgh? What do you like so much about them?
It's a great city. I remember one time my mom surprised me with tickets to go to a game, and I'll never ever forget that. That was one of the best things about me growing up. My mom always surprised me with stuff like that, and my grandfather actually was a fan of Pittsburgh. That's what made me love them so much. And I've visited the city, and the city is very beautiful.
Yeah, I've been there as well. It's really nice. Is that your favorite football moment, going to that game? Is there something on the playing field that sticks out when you think about football?
I think about hitting. I letting out the emotions that you have, and just being on the fields like you're all alone. Like that's what helps me. That's what gets me through every game. Just letting out every emotion that you have and that you remember people saying about you or something like that. That's what motivates me every time.
Now that you've become a very integral part of this defense, how do you hope to continue to progress, not become stale defensively, but continue to make plays and improve your game because you have so much ahead of you in your career?
I continue to work hard. My work ethic has gone up tremendously here, working with guys like Kendall Williams and Major Williams and Erie Lawrence and Jackson Ward and Jet Jones. Just people around me just gets me great. We have great competition here. I love guys like Zach Williams. It's just a lot of guys around me that make me compete, and I just love it.
Christian, I enjoyed the walk. Best of luck the rest of the year.
Hey, thank you so much.
That's Christian Hicks. I'm Andrew Rogers on another episode of Talent Talk.
All right, thank you very much, Andrew. Mike Clowney, Christian Hicks. What a fun, I don't want to call it a surprise because clearly he's submitted himself in that role as Mike linebacker, but yet another Mike linebacker for this program in the mold of a Alonzo Houston or a Saheem Stupart, a Tamoris Coates that is just seemingly in every play. What sticks out to you about the transfer backer?
His resilience. I mean, he's a guy that he really wasn't recruited by us. And he just kind of showed up. His dad's from Chattanooga and had played against us. And Dad played at Mars Hill. Mm-hmm. You know, he had been to Mars Hill and wound up going to Lynchburg and just kind of showed up and was not eligible. They had to sit out a year, and which when we talk about faith and patience, a lot of times it's not something that we want to do. But I think over the long haul is something that's probably paying dividends for him now when you be able to see his success on the field and also see his growth and development as a person off the field.
All right, turn your attention to the second oldest rivalry game in the state of Tennessee. Tusculum comes to Mossy Creek to start the month of October. Last year, kind of a similar situation, coming off of a big win at Newberry. Couldn't build on that success going to Tusculum. Jerry Odom's crew, always stout defensively, and feels like they're much improved offensively this year. What do you have to do to build on success this year with the win over Newberry, welcoming in the Pioneers to Mossy Creek?
You know, I think we've got to stick to the plan. You know, our plan the whole time is just continue to get better every week. I think that's going to continue to be the theme, and I think it's going to be critical to, how we perform on Saturday.
Mike Clowney, pleasure as always. Congrats on a massive one at Newberry.
Thank you.
It's Carson-Newman head football coach Mike Clowney. I'm the voice of the Eagles, Adam Cavalier. This has been the Mike Clowney Show. Thanks for watching.